What's up, Lego Builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios for a very action-packed segment of building Utapau. So this week I did something I've never done before with a MOC, and that is using lights in a MOC. I've never done this before. I've wanted to do it for a long time, and to be honest, I was very intimidated of it for a while just because, it sounds complicated. Wiring lights, hooking them up, sticking them in studs, hooking them to connector boards, making sure they're powered, working them through buildings and stuff like that. But I decided if I want to make this MOC as cool as it can possibly be, or do as good of a job as I possibly could, I needed to put lights, especially in the buildings, because they're going to be underneath a rock wall. And it's going to be kind of dark in the cavern, I think. So I think lights will really help dispel any shadows, any areas that are hard to see. So I'm going to be showing you guys two different sections of the MOC that have been lit up so far. I also did get some more work done on the buildings. We'll be taking a look at that as well. All that being said, let's go see what I've been up to. Haul time. So this haul is going to be a little bit tricky because I only have one free hand. Typically I'll set my phone up on the tripod. However, I'm actually literally about to live stream right now, so my tripod's being used. So I've got to hold my phone in my hand and kind of shake all these bricks out. Here's package one. So the reason I'm opening these right before my live stream is because I'm building the custom tri-droids that Clone Plays designed, and I've got a lot of the pieces in these hauls. So that's what these ball joint pieces are. I've got some more right here, looks like more right there, some cannons, and then these right here. His design uses a ton of these. Old Clone Plays loves this piece because I had to order a bunch. And then we've got some more random odds and ends for Utapau. Nothing too special by the looks of it, just some inverted slopes. Looks like plate, tile, and bricks. You guys have all seen it. Package number 2 actually came in this nice little square box. I thought that was pretty cool. And I think we have more stuff for the tri-droid in here. Yep, we got more toe, ball, hitch, whatever you want to call them. People call them different things. And then I've got some dark bluish gray plate and some of these pieces, these dark bluish gray grills. These are actually going to go on the back of these arches to act as vents, and I ran out, so I made another order of those. More tri-droid pieces and more dark tan bricks for Utapau. And then we've got a bunch of black pieces. I'll be explaining more later on what these are going to be used for. Before I dive too deep into the progress of this week, I want to show you guys what I did last week after last update ended. And I was able to install this 1x tiling across the entire front of this building. And just as I suspected, it really added a lot of texture and life to the front wall, which I'm very happy with because before it was looking kind of bland. I did put some masonry bricks up here on the top. I might change how they look. I'm not sure how happy I am with the current pattern. And then another thing I did was I added this jog in the wall right here. So previously, if you guys remember, it looked like this. There were just two walls kind of next to each other, and I didn't really like that. It didn't feel super realistic to me, and it was kind of jarring right here. I wanted a smoother transition, so I put these wedge bricks to kind of create an angle, and I think it looks pretty nice. Obviously, it's not the smoothest transition, especially up here. I ran into a huge problem of having to run the tile across this little angled jog right here, and that was pretty tough because I couldn't just leave it plain because I felt like if there was a 1x gap right there in between the tiling, it just wouldn't look right. So I actually came up with this really cool solution, and this is actually just a 1x1 brick with a, as I drop it, this is just a 1x1 brick with a 1x1 tile on top. I was coming up with all these like complex clips and hooks and weird systems to try and like connect a 1x1 brick to these other two pieces or connect it to the top here. And then I was just standing here super perplexed, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try something so simple it just might work. I grabbed a 1x1 and then shoved it in there and then put a tile on top of that, and I think it looks pretty good. Obviously it's not seamless, but this is Lego, sometimes this is the best you can get. So putting that 1x1 brick in the side of the wall did cause a problem on the back side here. As you guys can now see, there is a big gap right there, and you can see the back side of the 1x1 brick. and that was pretty unsightly. I wasn't super happy with that. So another simple solution, we've got this 1x1 tile, and it literally just sits on top of the 1x1 brick, just like that. And that covers up the top of the gap. So really the only place you can see that there's a gap is if you zoom in really close right here on the side of this wall. And I might put a minifigure right there just to kind of hide it. But I think from a distance, you know, it looks like there's just a little jog in the wall with a flat space on top. So overall, I'm very happy with how that was able to come together and that I was able to figure out a way to be able to keep this tile pattern running even on this angled wall area. I did also get the walkway finished with these 1x4 bricks jutting out with the cheese slopes on top. I feel like that just helps thicken up the wall and just, I don't know, makes it almost look like these are kind of battlements like you would see on a castle. And then I was able to finish running the cheese slopes along the base. And then I was even able to finish this side as well, kind of doing the same pattern that you see over here on this side. All right, it's time for a much anticipated haul by me. This is my first ever Lego lighting kit haul. I've been wanting to light MOCs for a long time, a really long time, and I've never really gotten around to do it or had just like the funds or the motivation or just like the MOC to do it, because a lot of my MOCs are mostly landscape based. But now that they've got like lights and buildings and stuff, I decided it's finally time to take the plunge and try out lighting. These kits are from a company called Light My Bricks. Many of you guys are probably familiar with them. I bought 2 of the starter kits. This was recommended to me by SW Bricks and Figs. And so I'm going to go ahead and get this all figured out. I'm probably not going to do like a step-by-step of how I put this all together to light up my buildings, just because I have no idea what I'm doing, so it could take me a while. But the good thing is I have 2 of these kits. I have 2 places that I need to light up. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these, maybe both, we'll see, and really learn and get to know how to light up, you know, buildings properly. Then once I do that, have a little bit of experience when I go to light the other side, I'll kind of give you guys a more in-depth tutorial and in-depth showcase of like how I go about doing it. So I'm going to get these out, start working on that, and then when I have some stuff to update you with, we will check back in. Okay, I have been busy lighting up this structure right here, and I think I'm starting to get the hang of this whole light thing. I only busted 1 cable so far, but let's take a look and see what I've been doing. So there is a big mess of wires in here, but I'll try my best to kind of explain what's going on. So right here we've got the power source, the battery pack, and that leads to this extension board right here. So this allows me to power all the different lights I have back here. And what I have back here, 3 of these LED light strips. I really like these because one side is adhesive and it comes with some 1x6 plate that you just clip onto the, or that you just stick onto the backside of the light strip. And as you guys can see, these are my very low budget, low key stands for lights. They're literally just plate stood up vertical with some plate sticking out the side. I figured because this interior will never really be exposed, it doesn't have to look super pretty, basically just needs to function as I need it to. So what these are doing are lighting up these lower windows. At first I thought about putting like an individual light behind each of these windows, but the problem with that was the light became too bright behind each window, and I kind of want these to just have like a dim glow. I don't want there to be like this bright light at the center of each. So I found by just trial and error spacing these LED light strips, I'm actually able to light this entire side right here. Moving over to this side, lighting over here was a little bit more difficult just because this wall is a lot shorter and there are a lot of pillars back here and stuff kind of supporting this back part and supporting what's going to be over here. So I didn't have a lot of space to work with. So what I ended up using were these individual lights because I only had 2 windows to light, and then these lanterns. Now these lanterns, guys, were a little tough to light in the beginning just because the lantern's completely exposed and, you know, I don't want to have a wire running out of this doorway and leading up here. So I actually had this really cool idea to stick a headlight brick, I believe that's what that piece is called, right above the lantern, and then I just wired a piece of wire through there, and then it runs out the back here and then runs over here to this connector board. So I did that with one so you guys could see the finished product, and then I left this one undone so you guys could kind of see, like, you know, the behind the scenes look, because once this lantern is clipped on right here, this light is practically invisible. As you guys can see, you can't really see the wire just because the lantern's so big, but it does have a really cool effect, which I'll show you guys all of this lit up in just a second. What I wanted to do right now was just give you guys the rundown of what I did, where I placed all the lights. I did run into a problem, though. I didn't foresee this happening just because, I've never really worked with lights, but I have so many lights back here that this extension board isn't enough to power them all, because I still need to run lights up this tower part right here, and this light right here that's for this lantern has not been connected either. You can see it's just sitting right there. Luckily, the website I bought these from, Light My Bricks, has a larger extension board, which has 12 ports. So I ordered one of those, and so once that comes in, I'll be able to light up this entire thing, because what I have to do right now is basically just light sections of the MOC to see what it looks like, and then unplug other pieces, so I can light that whole side or I can light this whole side. Here's the first side once it's all lit up. As you guys can see, what I was talking about earlier, it's kind of like a very diffused glow. There isn't like a bright light inside each of the windows, and I like that just because I feel like this building is going to be lit from the inside during the day, so these lights aren't supposed to be super bright, just kind of there to add a little extra color and a little bit of pop, because now this MOC is going to look so much cooler once it's all done, because you'll have all this gray and tan, but then you'll have these pops of blue where the lit up windows are, because I plan on doing the same thing over here with a different style building, but the same color window and lights. The only thing I haven't figured out is how much I want this corner window lit up, just because it's tucked away so far from the lights that it's not lit super well. I haven't lit this tower yet because I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to do it, and I'm out of the kind of lights I need, those LED strips that I was showing you guys, and those are going to be running in here. So I have an order coming in, so that'll probably be next week. We'll see what exactly I'll be doing with the tower and how it's going to look once it's lit up. Here's the other side with the lanterns on either side of the door and the two windows. This is what I'm talking about. By putting an individual light behind the window, you get this very bright glow directly behind the window. And I'm not sure how I feel about this. I think for right now it looks okay, but I may experiment by scooting this light right here. So this is the light. It's attached to this 1x2 brick. I may scoot it back a little bit so the glow is a little bit dimmer, but we'll see. I may end up just keeping it like this, but I'm very happy with how these lanterns turned out, especially because I was able to hide the wire, so well. So you get this awesome just hanging wall lantern look without, wires dangling down. At first, I actually wasn't going to light either of the lanterns, but I realized if I have both the windows lit and all these windows, it would look kind of dumb to have two lanterns on either side of the door and have them not lit. So I ultimately decided to do it, and I like it. This one is overly bright because I only have one of these black cylinder shield pieces, whatever you want to call it, so I got to order in another one of those to kind of cap that off. That wraps up this week of building Utapao. I made amazing progress with these lights, and I'm not saying, they look amazing or they turned out so well, but mostly just that I was able to do so much so quickly, having never worked with lights before. It was very gratifying and very relieving to realize, okay, I don't need to be an expert in lighting to be able to do cool things with the lights, because I do want to do more stuff over here, and I will be installing lights up here as well. I think I'm thinking about having 3 right here to kind of illuminate this catwalk area and kind of light up this front entry. So I have some really exciting things planned for the lights coming up in these next few episodes, as well as continuing on with this MOC. All that being said, time to hit the outro. I hope you guys enjoyed this week of building Utapao. I hope you guys enjoyed the lights. I've had an absolute blast working with these lights. It's so much fun. I'm really happy that I ended up buying just plain white lights. There are multiple options for colors. And the reason I like doing plain white is because you can change the color temperature based on what Lego part you use. So the bluish lights, of the building versus the yellow lights that I have up on the pillars, I could do red or green, all of that. So if you do get into lights, I would suggest starting out with white. It's a pretty neutral color tone and allows you to do some cool things. Things are really starting to take off with Utapao. I feel like it's really starting to take shape, which is good because I would like to have this MOC finished mid to end of March. So I really got to get cracking if I want to get this interior lit up, done, so I can start moving on to the upper rock area. As always, don't forget to leave me a comment down below. Had any questions, anything you want to know about the MOC, anything you want to tell me. And if you like the video, don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up. And as always, if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future content. But until next time, happy building.